school returns for the year, it's the perfect time for parents to strike up a conversation about devices and social media and the impact that it can have on young lives especially.
It's a big topic and everyone's situation is of course different, but there are general rules and warnings that all families should consider. And joining us now is the Director of Digital Resilience, Yasmin London. Yasmin, morning to you. Thank you for being here. So the reality is children are constantly surrounded by social media at home. At what age do you recommend that parents decide to let their children use these devices?
Look, it can be a difficult one to answer because every child is different. So, the thing that I always tell parents is delay is the way. So as long as you can delay it is always a good thing. If we look at legislation, children do need to be 13 years or over to be on these social media platforms. But I think it's important for parents to move away from number metrics and really look at the capabilities that their children have to deal with the experience of social media. So how do they know when to report something? Do they know what an algorithm is and how it's going to impact their experience? Those are the things that parents really need to be paying attention to.
What do you think about the hard ban? Just the hard ban, don't let the kids on it at all.
That is not going to work, and I can't say that more emphatically. If we look back to our own childhoods, what did we do when our parents banned us from doing something? We went and did it anyway, but we did it secretly. And the most important thing for parents to know is that, help seeking is the number one protective factor when it comes to the online world. So we need to make sure that our kids know they can come to us and talk to us about the issues that they experience. If we say that you're banned and you're never going to use it, they're not going to feel that they can do that.
And how do you encourage children to come and have those honest discussions? Because a lot of the stuff's going on behind the scenes and the parents don't know about it.
Look, it starts, ironically, with having a pro-tech attitude and approach. So don't say that Instagram is the worst thing ever or that a game is going to, cause addiction. Be curious in your mindset, understand why they love these sorts of environments and what they're doing on them and what influences that, they're passionate about. If we show that attitude of curiosity and have a really honest, open conversation, the groundwork's done before the problem occurs.
Can I ask for some really practical advice? So we constantly hear don't let kids have devices in their rooms, but often they want the device in the room to even listen to music.
Yeah.
And if they're doing the right thing and they're just listening to music, what do you think about that? Because you've got to go in and check, right? And then you don't want the closed door policy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? It doesn't afford kids, sure, you can buy a different device, but who's got the money to be buying a million different devices and then for them all to break down and you can't find a charger? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just getting down to we're busy.
100%. I'm a parent too. I understand, I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and that's what we're experiencing in our house at the moment as well. I am an advocate for making sure that devices are kept out of bedrooms. At the very least, keep that door open because it can happen fast and it can happen unexpectedly. So often kids will come across problematic content, not because they've searched for it, because they've clicked on something. If we're talking about music, we've also got to consider, the lyrics that they might be listening to. So a really good strategy that parents can use, particularly if they've got younger kids, is to use a parental control tool, for example. That means that they can control what apps that they can access and when. They've got the ability to turn off the internet and sort of tailor the approach depending on the age of their children.
At what age is it appropriate to let a teenager have their device in their room?
Look, I wouldn't advocate for it ever, but I'd be looking at sort of 14, 15, 16, no younger than that. We know even with issues like pornography, for example, that happens because kids will just click on a link unexpectedly. They're not trying to do the wrong thing and suddenly, boom, they're in an area that's going to influence them in a way that they're not really sure how to handle. When they're sort of 12, 13, 14, interestingly, developmentally as well, they want autonomy, they want that independence, but they still make really emotionally charged decisions. So that's when cyberbullying and things like that happen. And if they're alone in their rooms dealing with that at night, that can be a really problematic situation.
Yasmin, is there a specific parental control app or tool that you would recommend?
Yeah, definitely. There's one called Custodio, which is a really robust parental control tool that parents can use. It'll allow them to look at screen time. So for my kids, for example, I've got a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. That screen time is going to be different for each of them, and the apps that they're going to be able to access is going to be different for each of them. So it's not about blocking or controlling all the time as well. What it will do is alert you to a search term that might be risky for a 9-year-old, and it allows you to have that conversation at a time that is right for you. So it can be really excellent.
And constantly be having those conversations with them about, are you seeing things that are making you feel uncomfortable? If it's 100%. Making you feel a bit uncomfortable in the tummy, it's probably the time to come out
Exactly.
and let
I
us
love
know.
that you said that, Mon, because it's that body response.
Yeah, they know.
That's what is going to tell them. So how does it make you feel?
It's wonderful, really practical advice,
Yeah,
Yasmin.
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much.